What's going on, everyone? Today's Wednesday the 8th. I took no trades today. In fact, I even ended my session really early, right around the 10:50 mark, which is around 10 minutes earlier than I usually get off, just because of how bad the price action was. I'm going to really quickly go over today because there's really not much to go over. Um, Firstly, I would love to point out the fact that yesterday I was not wrong. I was just early on the move. The low that I was eyeing out was finally hit. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, the low that I was eyeing was finally hit, along with this low and this low. So I was not wrong. I was just early on the move. But after sweeping out these major daily swing highs or lows, because when you look at the daily time frame, this is a major swing point, and once we sweep that out, I do expect a full-on reversal from here, back to all-time highs, possibly. It just depends on how we react here. So coming into market open, we see that overnight creates this massive hourly bearish gap, but we do have a lot of low resistance towards all-time highs, and I mean a lot. Like, this is insane. So dropping down to the 30-minute, what do we see? We have a nice 30-minute gap right near price, right near the open. I would love to see this absolutely get manipulated into, and then we sweep the London high. The reason I'm targeting the London high is because we could sweep the London high, create an SMT with ES, and then dump, or we could sweep the London high and then create a slow grind for higher towards the Asia high. But London high is the first obvious draw. I do not consider this gap really usable. I treat it more as like a liquidity void where we must fill the entire imbalance before moving anywhere. So ideally, I would like to see price at least fill this hourly gap before making any sort of move for lower. But what do we see at open? Literally, we just straight rip up towards where my draw was. We kind of edge London high. ES is nowhere near it. We tap into the daily open on NQ and we sweep that, gap fill, and then we kind of just start chopping around. We do get a 5-minute and 15-minute gap. Let me just turn this on so you guys can see, so I don't have to keep switching time frames. We do get a 15-minute gap that does open up right here. So this is our 15-minute gap. I would love to see price, tap into this, and then we would finally sweep out the London high. However, I do understand that we have made that gap fill, so we can go lower now, but I just would like to see the London high get swept. And obviously, if we don't get nothing like that, we finally get this inversion, and we get a 30-second inversion somewhere here, I believe. Something like that on the 30-second. However, the reason I didn't take this is if it's not obvious enough, ES has made equal lows that I do not want to be trading away from. I really want to see ES sweep those equal lows first before anything else occurs. So I do end up fading this setup, which is slightly unfortunate. And the only reason I say that is because had I taken it, boom, I would have been tagged in and I could have TP'd at 10 a.m. All right, the reason I believe 10 a.m. played today is because we tap into the daily open, we create that gap fill, and 10 a.m. lines up with that perfectly. I think 10 a.m. was a good play. I just was not looking for shorts personally until we sweep London highs. So by the time ES finally sweeps out its equal lows, I was really eyeing this 1-minute inversion, and I was saying if we get this 1-minute inverse, I will gladly take this to the London highs. It all just depends on what happens here, but we never see that inversion, and NQ takes out its AM low, kind of destroying my trade idea. And then we tap into this fair value gap once again, and we just start heading lower. At this point, I was thinking of a last opportunity to take something, and I was eyeing this 30-minute gap or this 30-minute gap, but mainly I was eyeing this hourly gap right here. But what do we see when price finally taps into it? I'm thinking this is the last line of defense to go for London highs. We kind of just melt through it and show no reaction for higher. We do get this 1-minute inversion, but this is just a pattern trade. If you look at all this structure, this is literally a pattern trade. So yeah, absolutely nothing to take here. And then boom, lunch session just opened, and I think this session is chalk today. I'm not gonna lie, there's really not much to take or do here, so I'm just gonna call it a day here. Really would have loved to see this 15-minute get used towards London high. Really would have loved to short off the London high as well. However, this 10 a.m. short was not ridiculous after seeing us reject from that gap fill and reject from the daily open. I believe this 10 a.m. short was the play of the day, but I don't really trade 10 a.m. I'm not super familiar with 10 a.m. like that. I don't really use it as a key level. I use it more as like manipulation and power of threes. So 10 a.m. opens, manipulate higher, go lower. I want to be a part of that manipulation so I can go lower. However, here you would have to limit order this and set like a 20-point stop or something. I'm not really comfortable with doing that. I've never done that before, so it's not really how I trade. But yeah, I'm just going to chalk up today's session. It's really terrible, and I really, really hope summer PA isn't like this. This kind of does suck because yesterday I did take a loss when I finally took a trade, and I was kind of eager to take another trade today and start following my rules, being a good trader, etc., just to see this price action be so terrible. So it does kind of suck, but it is what it is, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Really, really hoping tomorrow's not bad. Oh, also today is FOMC, so this could be a reason as to why the price action is the way it is. However, I don't want to keep blaming news for everything. I don't want to keep blaming PA. I genuinely think, though, today was just one of those terrible days. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully things clear up.